Hello everybody, I'm Iron Captain and welcome to another episode of Long Way Home. Last episode I finally managed to get my survival kit down into the base that I'm building in the canyon under there. This time, I think the first thing I want to do is put a battery on this base so I can continue to harness the power off of these wind turbines, and I can come up here to charge my rovers so I'm not only relying on the power that's in the coming off of the solar panels. So I think I'll do that first. So I'll just start with that right now. Alright, there we go. That battery's done, and that'll let me still collect power while out and about, so I can come back and just recharge my vehicles off of this. I might eventually hook it into the power grid for down there just as an extra little boost, but I'll worry about that a little later. Quite a bit later, actually. For now, I think worrying about getting these next few pieces down is going to be my big concern. And I want to try to reuse this connector here in the Tix garage as I'm building it. So I want to reuse that. Alright, so in an attempt to make this side cheaper than what the moles area was, I am going to build it with interior walls, which are cheaper in iron use to produce than the light armor walls are. So that should save me quite a bit in iron and make this area a lot easier to build and a lot faster to build than the last one was. Okay, so I'm gonna put a junction right up here, right above the connector down there, and I'm gonna put an air vent off of that. So the air vent will be my main means of pressurizing and depressurizing this space. So I'll weld that up here in a minute. This is as high as the opening's gonna be, so I'm just gonna put a layer on top of this to act as the roof, and then this is done. There we go, that's another one done. Just need to finish up the other side and then put the roof on. Okay, so I was trying to figure out what to use as my roof in this, for this hangar, so that something would be similar but the same, but different. And what I've come up with is the steel catwalk plate. Once completed, it should be airtight, and it should give me a slightly different look on the top. So I'm going to install this on the roof and weld it up, and we'll see how that looks. Oh, jeez! Oh, wow, I can't believe I didn't die. That was way too close for comfort. The other nice thing about using these for a roof is I can walk across it and not have to dig out more of the ceiling than what I've already done. So that's an added bonus for me too. Okay, so I need to get this air vent plumbed up before this area can be pressurized. So I'm gonna head back here, and I've kind of dug a little area out so I can get back here. So I'm gonna want a conveyor junction here so I can branch off and go back into the rest of the base, and then just some conveyor tubes will suffice to plumb that up the rest of the way. So let's weld up what I can. Don't have everything I need, but I got a good chunk of it. I can come back here and finish it. And once that's welded up, then the air vent here can draw off of this tank to fill it. Unfortunately, I also need an air vent outside, but I can just put a little hidden air vent off the side of this, well, on the other side, and that will be enough to pressurize this space eventually. Nice part is I currently have 21,000 iron ingots, so I've got enough I can work on this project for a while and really make some headway on getting things built up in the base and making it a little more functional and looking a little nicer. Okay, these conveyor tubes are now done, so I will just drill on over to the other side here, and I'll put the air vent right here so I can pressurize this space. Then I'll have to work on building the airlock over here, which shouldn't take too long to do. Then what I'm thinking about is, since I'm gonna end up probably having more than just the tick and the mole, I'm gonna expand this down this way, and off to the side here on each side of the tick, or on this side of the tick and mole hangars, I'm gonna build a second and third and fourth hangar for whatever vehicles I come up with. Okay, so I realized that I'm using steel plate for the ramp here that I made. However, if I use the actual ramp that comes in the game, it's cheaper in the end to build that than it is this. So I'm gonna swap out these, since these are just frames, with this ramp and build it that way. So I had been planning to put a rotor and a landing gear on, so I had a mobile crane as well on this mole. However, there's just not enough space in this design to make that work. However, I still need a crane to move this next piece. So, even though it's going to use some resources and it's just gonna be a throwaway in the end. I'm going to attach a landing gear right off this bottom camera for now, and when I'm done, I'm gonna just grind it off. For all it costs, it's really not that expensive, and it will let me pick this connector up and move it into place without needing a whole lot more equipment. So there I go, I'm attached. Now I just need to grind this away so it's not attached anymore. There we go. That's loose. Now I can take it and attach it to the other grid, the other build down there. The hangar. I can attach it in the hangar. That's what I'm looking for. If I can get myself up out of this hole. There we go. Okay, there's a weld pad. Oh, most of a weld pad. There's most of another weld pad. Just need a few more components and I should be able to nudge that into position to get it to weld up. Here we go. One new connector on the base. Actually wasn't too bad. Especially for just slapping a landing gear onto the mole. It worked really well. Alright, let's see if this will actually connect to that connector. Because this one is supposed to go in this bay here, so let's see if it fits. Can't see where I'm going real well, but... And I just smashed my connector. Oops. There we go, connected up to the base. Just gotta decrease my offset a little bit and that's it. Might be worth it to put some half blocks in here so I can line up with this connector, move it up one and put in the half blocks. I'll worry about that later though. I was running low on power and wasn't making quite as much as I thought I was. So I decided now is the time to finally redo the solar panel array that I had built earlier. It hadn't been tracking the sun quite like I wanted, and also it wasn't large enough to suit my power needs anymore. So I decided to grind it all away. Fortunately, there wasn't much I could do to salvage it, so I was forced to grind it away. After a while, I got it all ground away, got it all ready to go. Had a few problems with the pieces not quite moving right. And then I decided I was going to install a piston, and I had this 5x1 piston. Functions just the same as a regular piston, except it's 5 blocks long instead of the normal 2. So I had to secure the top so I didn't end up dropping the whole tower whenever I modified it, and cut out the center support. So since that's all done, now I'm going to cut out the center support and grind that away and make space for the piston to sit. So I'll grind it down. Now I've got it down to where it needs to be, and I'll just put that piston right in there and get it ready to go. That piston will extend up to 35 meters. So then I'm going to put the solar tracker rotor on top of that piston. So I'm going to weld all that up, or attempt to. Fortunately, I just can't quite get that to weld up, and that will be a running theme for a little while. Next that's going on is the mounts for the solar panels. So these arms are going to stick out and provide a nice seamless look for the solar panels to mount on and make it all look good. I'll get all those welded up, and then we'll start to mount the panels on next. Still trying to get that rotor to weld up, and I just can't quite make it happen. So now that those arms are done, I'm going to put on the solar panels. So I'm going to extend it just a little bit here to get it up high enough that I can mount the solar panels. There we go. Now I can start mounting them. all solar panels are mounted. Now I just need to get them welded up. Alright, let's raise this up so I can capture the sun while I go get everything else. Max distance, all the way. There we go. It should orient itself more towards the sun. Something's wrong. I hope not. I don't want to have to redo it again. I think it's not working right. The end piece is looking right at it. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. I did it wrong. For some reason, the angle ain't right. And it's not tracking the sun in the way I want it to. It's saying it's incomplete. That's what it is, the rotor port ain't done. Okay, I can make this work then. Or not. Holy moly, what just happened there? I don't know what that was, but I did not like it. Saw my life flash right before my eyes. Wow, I can't believe I fell from that height and survived. I can't believe I went flying in the first place. I had to guess the piston is putting pressure on it, and whenever the block updated its collision mesh, it jolted the piston and sent me flying. It's gonna probably be a problem if I continue to climb up on them to weld them up. Something tells me I'm gonna go flying again before it's over. Yep, that's what it was.
Low health.
Oh my. And there we go. It just launched me clean off the edge. Kinda had a feeling that was coming. Worst part is, I don't see a better way to get up there and weld those up at the moment than that. Which, unfortunately, means I'm gonna go way back and do the same thing again. At least to finish this one up. The good news is this will significantly increase my power production, so that's a good thing. It'll give me a little more than 4 times the power production that I had before, because I'll be actually able to track the sun now, and that should increase my power production a little bit in and of itself. And with the extra 6 panels that I'm putting on, that will give me lots of power to work with here, and a pretty small package overall. And I'll figure something out for those two here in a little bit, because I don't feel like flying off the edge again. Should be pointing that way. Is it 90 degrees off? Or is it because that rotor's incomplete? Yeah, that rotor's incomplete. So I need to figure out how to complete that rotor. That's gonna be fun. For whatever reason, I can't weld up the one rotor pullet on this. And if I can't weld that up, it won't actually try to track the sun. So that means I'm gonna have to disconnect what I built and find a way to reconnect it after I'm done. So I want to add a small head, and I'm gonna try to put a small piston on here. And a landing gear. And I'm gonna reach up with this big piston and then extend the small piston with a landing gear, attach it to the main rotor head up there, the hinge of it, and then detach the head that's up there. And since it'll be held in place by the landing gear and piston, I should be able to then lower the big main piston that this is all on, weld up the piece that apparently I missed, and get that all going. I wonder if I had a better welder, if that would help. Welder. That might work. So instead of picking it up and hand welding it, maybe instead what I need to do make myself a small grid welder and mount it on that piston head up there. And then just extend the welder into the neck of that area and let the welder just weld it up. Okay, so Wodal. Wait, heel. Colon angle. 15. Go 1. Oh yeah, it won't. Let's pulse this Wodal. Extend this all the way. Max distance. So glad that woke. That was so much easier than my original plan. Because rigging up a landing gear and then picking that up and hand welding it and such a pain. This was so much easier. And actually, I think I'm just gonna leave this weight here, because if anything happens to that landing gear or that Wodal joint again, welding it up is gonna be difficult, so I'll just leave it. That way, if anything ever happens to it, it's ready to go. But there we go. The new and improved solar panels are done. That is awesome. I think at this point too, I'll call it good for the day and finish the episode up here. So I got those panels done, got the upgrades done to them, got the solar tracking working like it should have been from the get-go. I've got a lot of area down here dug out and ready for the refinery and assembler and all that to be placed temporarily in this area. So I've got all that done. And after a while, this is going to become part of the hangar. But for now, it's just going to be a temporary holding area for the assembler and refinery. So I think I'll move those first thing next episode. And then I want to get started on building a rocket ship to get up into space to get at some resources that I can't find readily available here. So I've got a design in my head for that, and this design is gonna be a little bit unique because it's gonna have essentially 3 stages. Since I'm living underground, I want to be able to deploy this from underground and not have to fly it up the ramp, which would be exceedingly awkward. So I want to have a ground stage for deploying and also recovering. And then I also want to have an atmospheric stage to take advantage of the atmosphere to help get as much out of the easily renewable resources as I can. And then that stage will drop off, parachutes will deploy, and it will be able to be recovered by the ground vehicle. And then the final stage, which is the part that will actually go to space, will continue on its way to space, and then I can bring it back later. So that's the basic idea of the spaceship I want to build, and we'll get to that next episode. So everyone have a good night, and I'll see you next time.